Moira utterly doomed in Emmerdale as Joe's plot tightens. The beloved character is currently in prison, with the police assuming she had a part to play in Celia Daniels, Jay Griffiths' drug dealing and slavery operation. Moira is totally innocent, but she's yet to find a piece of evidence that proves she didn't bury refugee Anya and Celia on her farm. While she's been behind bars, Moira's husband Kane Dingle, Jeff Hordley, has been left to run the farm on his own. He's also running the garage, looking after Kyle and Isaac, Huey Quinn and Bobby Dunsmuir, and secretly dealing with the fact he has prostate cancer. It's an awful lot, but there's more. Circling Butler's farm like a bird waiting to strike at its prey is Joe Tate, who believes he can take over Moira's business. Kane has been told by Graham Foster, Andrew Scarborough, to focus on Moira and his health and not fight the Tates, but this is a man full of pride. If he's going down, it won't be without a fight. This week, Lydia Dingle, Karen Blick, offers to look after Kyle and Isaac for a couple of days, but Kane rejects her offer. She heads off and Kane is left alone, allowing us to see just how close he is to breaking point. His day goes from bad to worse when he learns that Joe has arranged a herd inspection due to a suspected TB case. It means nothing can be moved off the farm until they receive an all clear, stopping the team from completing their usual business deals. After Joe restates his offer to buy the farm, Kane remains silent on the matter. Maddie Barton, Ash Palmisciano, wants to keep the farm going for his mum, but there's a worrying sense the future of Butler's farm as it is now is completely doomed. Is Kane fighting a losing battle? Is Joe going to win? Emmerdale has never been short of heartbreak, betrayal, or explosive feuds, but the latest twist involving Moira has taken the tension to suffocating new heights. As Joe's carefully constructed plot begins to tighten around her, it's becoming chillingly clear. Moira could be utterly doomed. For months, viewers have sensed something simmering beneath the surface. Joe has been patient, unnervingly so. He hasn't lashed out or made reckless moves. Instead, he's been strategic, quiet, calculating. And that's what makes this so dangerous. Moira, fiercely independent and battle-hardened by years of tragedy, is no stranger to conflict. She's survived affairs, family fractures, financial disasters, and devastating loss. Every time she's been knocked down, she's clawed her way back. But Joe isn't confronting her head-on. He's dismantling her life piece by piece, and she doesn't even fully see it happening. That's the most terrifying part. Joe's power doesn't lie in brute force. It lies in influence, in whispers, in manipulation. He's positioned himself perfectly, weaving alliances and exploiting vulnerabilities. While Moira focuses on holding her family together and keeping the farm afloat, Joe has been quietly tightening the screws. And now the cracks are showing. Moira's world revolves around control of her land, her family, her choices. But Joe's scheme is designed to strip that away. Financial pressures are mounting. Tensions within the family are escalating. Trust is eroding. Every problem that arises seems coincidental, until you look closer. Then a pattern emerges. A pattern that points directly to Joe. He's isolating her. The farm, once her fortress, is becoming a battleground she may not win. Suppliers pulling out. Deals collapsing. Legal complications surfacing at the worst possible moments. None of it loud enough to draw immediate suspicion. All of it devastating in its cumulative effect. Moira thrives in crisis when the enemy is visible. But what happens when the enemy is smiling at you across the table? Joe's motivations appear layered. On the surface, it could be business, a power grab, revenge. But there's something more personal in the way he watches events unfold. A satisfaction that suggests this isn't just strategy, it's vendetta. Moira has underestimated him before. That could prove to be her fatal mistake. What makes this storyline so gripping is the psychological warfare at play. Joe isn't rushing toward a dramatic showdown. He's patient. He wants Moira cornered, desperate, doubting herself. And it's working. She's second-guessing decisions that once would have been instinctive. She's snapping at those closest to her. The stress is seeping into every interaction. Loved ones are noticing the change. But instead of uniting around her, fractures are forming. Because Joe knows exactly where to apply pressure. There's something particularly tragic about watching Moira struggle against an invisible net. She senses something is wrong. You can see it in the hesitation before she signs a document, the guarded look when Joe offers help, the sleepless nights filled with silent dread. But suspicion without proof is powerless. And Joe is meticulous. He's covered his tracks. As the plot tightens, the stakes rise. The possibility of losing the farm isn't just financial ruin, it's emotional annihilation. That land represents everything Moira has fought for. It's her identity, her redemption, her legacy. If Joe succeeds in stripping it away, he won't just be taking property. He'll be taking her purpose. Viewers are left asking the same question. Can Moira outsmart him before it's too late? The odds feel increasingly stacked against her. Every attempt to regain footing seems to backfire. Allies are distracted or unaware. Joe, meanwhile, appears calm, composed, almost magnanimous, offering solutions, extending olive branches, playing the concerned confidant. It's a masterclass in manipulation. And yet this is Moira. If there's one thing fans know, it's that she doesn't crumble easily. Her resilience has defined her character for years. But resilience alone may not be enough this time. Because Joe isn't attacking her strength, he's exploiting her blind spots. There's also the emotional toll to consider. Living under constant pressure chips away at even the toughest exterior. Moira's isolation is growing. The more defensive she becomes, the more others pull back. It's a vicious cycle Joe undoubtedly anticipated. He doesn't need to push her off the cliff. He just needs to make sure there's no ground left beneath her feet. The brilliance of this storyline lies in its slow burn. Rather than explosive confrontations, we're witnessing quiet devastation. It's the tension in lingering glances. The weight behind seemingly innocent conversations. The knowledge that every move Moira makes could be feeding directly into Joe's endgame. And what an endgame it appears to be. If Joe's ultimate goal is total domination, of the farm, of the business landscape, of Moira herself, he's closer than ever to achieving it. The power dynamic has shifted dramatically. Where once Moira stood firm, she now appears vulnerable. But vulnerability can spark revelation. There are subtle hints that Moira's instincts are beginning to sharpen. A flicker of suspicion. A moment of clarity. If she connects the dots, the fallout could be explosive. Joe may be playing a long game, but exposure would unravel everything. The question is whether she'll see the truth in time. Because Joe's plot isn't static. It's accelerating. With each passing episode, the walls close in further. Financial ruin looms larger. Relationships strain under pressure. The sense of impending catastrophe is almost unbearable. It feels less like watching a storyline unfold, and more like witnessing a countdown. Moira has faced enemies before, some overtly villainous, others deeply personal. But Joe's threat feels different. It's colder, more precise, less about chaos and more about control. And control is exactly what Moira is losing. If she falls, the ripple effects will be enormous. The farm's future hangs in the balance. Family dynamics could shatter irreparably. Joe's influence would solidify, reshaping the power structure entirely. But soaps thrive on twists. Is Moira truly doomed? Or is this the calm before her counterattack? Right now, it's hard to see a clear escape route. Joe's web is intricately spun. Every thread seems to lead back to him, yet none are visible enough to grasp. It's suffocating to watch. And that's precisely why viewers can't look away. This storyline taps into a primal fear. Losing everything not through one catastrophic mistake, but through 1,000 subtle cuts. Watching someone strong unravel under invisible pressure is deeply unsettling. Moira's fight isn't against a single event, it's against erosion. Joe has engineered a storm without thunder. But storms can shift direction. If Moira can gather evidence, rally unexpected allies, or uncover the flaw in Joe's plan, the tables could turn in spectacular fashion. The more confident Joe becomes, the greater the risk of overreach. Arrogance has undone many before him. For now, though, the balance of power is unmistakable. Joe is tightening his grip. Moira is running out of time.